I'm Guruksar Mujahid, and welcome to our podcast Waywardly. Today we have a seasoned journalist and an anchor person, Amir Zia, with us. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me on your show.
No, it's always. How have you been? How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Not too
So
bad.
it's a great initiative which you have taken.
Yeah,
Everybody is doing podcasts, and now you have also jumped the fray. So it's good, good.
yeah. I've joined the
You have joined
bandwagon.
the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Thank you. I need all the blessings and wishes.
Of course, all our best
Yeah.
wishes and our prayers are with you.
Thank you.
Hmm.
So I wanted to ask you that growing up, many young people, very few young people dream about becoming a journalist in this part of the world.
Hmm.
Did you always want to become one? What's your story?
My story, of course, it was not my childhood passion. It wasn't my childhood passion, and journalism came to me as an afterthought. It was not that I wanted to become a journalist. I wanted to flirt with journalists when I was doing masters. So I thought that if I work as a journalist for a couple of years, that would be great. I'll learn the ropes of how to write and express myself in written word, and then I'll move on to some other thing. But
Hmm.
incidentally, what happened that once I joined journalism, I kept getting one break after another and one career break. And so once I joined, I couldn't leave it. I left it briefly when I joined Pakistan Petroleum in 2005. But then I found that the world of journalism is much far better, and I do not belong to the corporate world. So I thought better get back to the wild, wild west of journalism.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But do you like writing more or being in front of the camera? Because as I introduced that you're also an anchor person. So which one of these would you prefer
Anchor
if you
person
have?
is a compulsion, because I mean it's very unfortunate in Pakistan that the print journalists are not paid that much. That is a problem, and so therefore I'm a print person, and I have not just worked for national media. I've worked for international media as well, and then I joined TV fairly late in 2007. Till 2005, I was working for Reuters, and before that, I was working for Associated Press of America. But if you ask my passion, my preference would be print journalism, writing articles, writing features, writing opinion pieces, and even news.
Hmm.
This is the ultimate test, and I think that you need more qualification to become a good journalist as a writer than to become an anchor person. Because
Yeah,
I mean, if you are a smooth talker, you can get away with that, and it's not necessary that you have substance. Some people can talk and talk endlessly, but without substance.
substance.
But
Yeah,
the real test of your metal is that when you start writing. Uh,
that's true. What? So the most fulfilling experience or part about your job is writing.
Writing, even now, I mean, although I'm working as a as an anchor person, but I mean, of course, we do develop our scripts. We do work on certain themes, but as you know, that TV is a shallow medium. It is all about sound bites. It's all about you have to squeeze in a lot of some popular phrases and then move on. In print, you can dig deep, and what it always happens that it is the hard work of the print journalist which the electronic journalist feast upon,
So talking about
isn't it?
sound bites,
Uh,
what's the hottest news these days?
I
What's the
mean,
sound bite that you would like to share with our
it,
audiences?
it, it depends on what kind of a viewer you are. For some, it could be sports, and for some, it could be
But
entertainment.
according to you, what would be
According
one?
to me, I mean, a lot is happening. I mean, if you come to Pakistan, yes, there's flood. It is a big story, and the impact of floods will come perhaps after 2 3 weeks in terms of economy. Pakistan is passing through a very, I would say, delicate phase in terms of politics. We are still in a country which is still in turmoil.
Yeah,
We see that there's a very unpopular government which is claiming itself to be an elected government, and it is taking on a popular political force. So that is a big story.
yeah,
And then our foreign relations, of course, our relations with India. That is a very challenging, very interesting story. So the world is in a flux. So is our region, and so is our politics. So there's no dearth of news in Pakistan, and that I've been witnessing. I mean, since I joined journalism.
Yeah.
In Pakistan,
Something
we
or
are
the else has
always
happened.
living through a very interesting times, which is a curse, by the way, that
How
people say.
long has it been since you joined
I joined
journalism?
in '91, so it is good, well, 34 years.
Oh,
I spent a
okay.
lifetime,
That's
and I
good
joined
then.
very young.
Okay. And now I won't ask your age.
Exactly. Please don't do that. Hmm.
Yeah. So when we talk about journalism, what role does ethics play?
It's very interesting and a very pertinent question, I would say. The thing is, when we joined journalism in '91, I think the world was a different place, and the world of journalism was a different place. It was dominated by the print at that time. And as you, you also belong to a family of journalists and writers. So you know well that in the olden times, because we are the dinosaurs, I'm among the dinosaurs now.
You're
That
fine.
print has a lot of you have to undergo training, and you have got you have a desk, you have a chief reporter, you have a city editor. So you have to people will hold you accountable for your work, right? And at that time, I would say that the time was very challenging even at that time. But I think we were doing better journalism than what people are doing right now. Although it was a print era, basically a print era, but we had some great seniors, and we were always sure that our seniors are at our back. If I commit a mistake as a young reporter, so there are people who can come in front of me and who can, defend me. That could be my editor, my news editor, my city editor. And then even those senior journalists, who are not part of your organization, they will
Hmm.
stand up for you.
Yeah.
So, but now when I have become a senior, I cannot claim like that I can protect my juniors, because the times have changed.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of more involvement of the state right now, of the government right now. They're manipulating our media. Earlier, there was owners always had a
Getting to
role. Huh.
this, the state uh, interference in media, how much censorship is there, and what about the press freedom in Pakistan? What is the current state of affairs?
It is a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. There are areas where you can speak very fearlessly, and then there are red lines as well. One of the red lines, of course, they stem from a social fabric that you have to be very careful about how you discuss religion. And then I will advise always my juniors as well that we have to bear in mind the religious sentiment of the people.
Yeah.
So we do not have that. So that is natural, and it is a must in a society like ours and anywhere else, that we respect not just our religion but the religion and faith of other people as well. And we do not try to. This is one red line. But there are some people who call for absolute freedom. They don't even like that kind of a red line. But for me, I'm a traditional journalist, so I say that yes, one should respect that. The second comes from that criticizing the government is still much easier. Although the government uses a lot of arm twisting tactics, they can influence or try to pressurize you through the advertisement, through the advertisement. They can block ads, as we have seen. Some of the media houses are facing that kind of a challenge. So this is one aspect, but still, you can be very fearless in criticizing the prime minister and the chief minister and things like that. But there'll be economic fallout on you, not on you, but on your organization sometimes.
So, how do you
And
differentiate between propaganda and
I'm
news?
coming to that. And there's a third factor as well.
Hmm.
That is when come national security issues. That Pakistan is fighting war against terror for a long time, and one can say, it's a two-edged sword. I would say that some of the no-go areas I don't like them myself. That I think that the dissenting voices who are resorting to peaceful struggle, they should be allowed to speak, and they should be fully covered. But here we see that in the name of national security, sometimes legitimate dissenting voices are stifled. So that is a cause of concern for me. They can be nationalists, they can be leftists, they can be religious people. Whoever is challenging the state
True.
narrative or the national narrative. And I'm not saying that they are on the right side, but of course, as Milton wrote in Aeropagitica way back in 17th century, that if you want to highlight the white, they should be black, right?
Hmm.
So I believe that if there's falsehood, so the truth will highlight itself much more.
Much
So
more.
we should not be afraid of, because if you once you start censoring, it means that you are admitting defeat. Your ideas are no longer able to fight those ideas
You're
which you claim,
fragile.
which you say that
Hmm.
are wrong. Your facts or your ideas or your whatever,
Hmm.
your truth, whatever you say. So in that sense, I would say that those are the red lines, and it has made the work of journalists fairly difficult. Then there has been, in lately we have seen under the Shabazz government that journalists have been victimized, journalists have been abducted, they have been tortured, they have been killed, and even in Sindh, from 2012 to 24, 19 journalists have been murdered,
That's really
right?
sad.
And most of them are in the rural Sindh.
Hmm.
Why? Because they criticize some feudal lord who is affiliated with a political party, and then they have never been impartial investigation into those areas.
Hmm.
So that is one area. In the past, when people like poets and writers and journalists were arrested, they were not afraid that they won't be. There was no fear that they will be stripped. Right now, things have gone that if a journalist is arrested. I remember Jamil Farooqi, who's an anchor person, when he was arrested and he was working for Bol, and he was crying like anything. And why? Because any decent person will do that, because he was stripped.
So, what's the way forward?
The way forward is that the way forward is not to flee the country. That some of our friends, they think that we go outside the country and start criticizing our institutions and the state. This is no way to fight. I would say that the best way is to that you stay in the country, and you start operating within your limitations, and that is the
Hmm.
whole art. That there's no need to become a martyr, but there's no need to join the other bandwagon as well. So you have to maintain a very delicate
Balance.
balance, and a good journalist can get away with any sort of an article or a good piece of I would say opinion or analysis. That's my belief. Because as a journalist, we are not a party,
Yeah.
right?
And we shouldn't be.
And we are mirroring what is happening. So I may agree or disagree with this or that.
True.
So, and even the institutions which are being criticized for victimizing journalists, I would say that they also know that if there's person like Amir Zia is there, Zahid, and Mujahid Saab and X and Y, that they know that is he a party guy? Is acting as a party guy, or he is criticizing in good faith in the larger interest? So we are not carrying out a campaign that we are every day I'll start with an excuse or without an excuse criticizing one person or one political party,
Yeah.
right? So we are going to take a 360-degree analysis, and yes, sometimes we'll say that these. I'm a firm critic of this government, but it doesn't mean that I have my personal ex to grind with them. It's not like
Yeah.
that.
One shouldn't, personal vendettas shouldn't be
Exactly.
actually
So
expressed.
if they are building ties with Bangladesh, so I'll say that's a good thing,
Yeah.
right? And if they have countered Indian attack, this establishment and this government, I'd say well and good. But if they're
Yeah.
stifling press freedom, if they're stifling political dissent, then I'll criticize them.
Yeah.
So it's a mixed bag.
Critical thinking is so important.
Yeah.
Now, wrapping up, I would like to ask you that what would you like to advise or give advice to budding journalists, uh, as a senior and seasoned journalist? What are your words of wisdom?
It's a very interesting question. The thing is that we are passing through a very challenging phase. And what we have seen is that the electronic media is increasingly becoming irrelevant. And with the passage of time, it will become more irrelevant. And we have seen that the print journalism, it has also taken a hit. And we have seen that good publications are shutting down. And those which are even surviving now, they have curtailed their number of pages and they've shrunk their content.
True.
We have seen that journalists are not being paid according to the market. Some of them are not being paid salaries. Some of them have seen that their salaries have been slashed. So it is a very difficult time to be a good journalist because the world has changed. But whenever one door closes, another opportunity comes,
True.
is around the corner. So the technology has made an individual more empowered. Now you don't need some firm, a big media house to tell your
Express
story.
yourself. Yeah.
Right now you've got a camera and you are here with me, you're talking to me, and you don't need a big channel
Hmm.
and a big studio. So the technology has empowered you.
True.
But here, a good storyteller who has got a knack of telling good stories or creating good content, he or she is going to win.
Is going to win.
But at the same time, again, the challenge is that then there is a a complaint of sensational content
On social
on
media,
social
more
media.
so.
Exactly. So again, it is not an ideal world itself, because then there is no accountability. Because I mean, you will interview me and you will put it as an as and when you want, right?
Or pick
Of
only the sensational parts
whatever,
and
exactly.
post
You can,
them.
you know, but if you're working for a credible organization, then your work will be reviewed. It will be edited. It will be, there'll be some checks.
Hmm.
So the mainstream media still, they can fight back this losing war through their credibility and being more honest, being more factual, and being more upright. So I'm not saying the battle is lost. The battle is still raging. So we have to reinvent ourselves. And
Hmm.
when I'm saying we have to reinvent ourselves, so it includes me as well. I should know how to use the technology. I
On
should be
that
aware of
note,
the challenge of artificial intelligence.
we should reinvent ourselves, and because people have short attention span, we should wrap
Hmm.
up now.
Sure.
But thank you so much. I wanted to hear more and more in this conversation. So behind the camera, we'll have and continue this conversation.
Inshallah, it
Th-
was a pleasure having you and delightful discussion. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.